Hi everyone, my name is Kevin and you're watching Learning Old Germanic Languages. This video is a sort of a response, but it's more of in defense of, and I'm defending, please forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly, but the guy's name is Nadrara, and I'm just going to jump into this discussion in defense of his position, which he beautifully illustrated in his video, which will be a link down below. The whole debate in question is about two words in Gothic, about Þagks versus Awiliudon, and Þagks is it's a noun and it means thanks, right? It means thanks, whereas Awiliudon is a verb to thank and whatnot, and the whole debate is that you have the whole debate that he was in with people from a Discord server regarding Gothic words and whatnot, that people were assuming, oh, it's Awiliudon because it's the most attested one, therefore it has to be. But the problem with this way of thinking is that the thing is, with a language like Gothic, it's so few or scarcely attested. Majority of it comes from the Gothic Bible. And Nadrara made a great argument saying and pointing out very important factors behind the Gothic Bible. One, the fact that it's the Bible. It's going to use a rhetoric that you wouldn't use with your friends or in other contexts. It's very very formulaic, if you will. Yes, very formulaic. And another good point that that Nadrara said that I think Wilvalas, I can't forgive me if I mispronounce his name. That guy himself, he wasn't a Goth himself, so that's something to bear in mind. So the Gothic Bible itself is, the Gothic Bible itself is a very skewed, distorted, and snapshot of Gothic itself, and we have to use deductive reasoning, as Nadrara was suggesting that, okay, well, in other Germanic languages we have we got variants of Think and Thanc, throughout other Germanic languages. But as an Old English person, as somebody who studied Old English and Anglo-Saxon, I can confirm with Nadrara's point that even in Old English you had the word thonk, thank. Thonk and thank, and these two words, well, they're basically the same word, dialectal variants or variants of each other. Anyway, they both mean, the word thank, okay, whatever, I'm just going to say thank. In Old English, the word thank, it means thought and thanks. It means the same thing. It has both meanings. So, if somebody wants to use Þancian to mean thank, that's valid. That's okay, even though dictionaries say Þancian means to think as well, but you could argue that it means thanks as well. Actually, you can argue it now, and because the thing is, even in Old English, Þancian, the kind of verb Þancian is, it's a weak verb. Yeah, it's a weak verb. It's one of those verbs where it's really a noun and they've been turned into a verb. They've been verbized. Forgive me for lack of the technical term, but so basically the word thunk in Old English had been turned into a verb of Þancian, and you could argue the same thing with Gothic. Why wouldn't that be the case? You have think and thank variants throughout the other Germanic languages. Why wouldn't it be the same for Gothic? I would argue it would have to be in Gothic because Gothic is the oldest, right? So, Nadrara I'm totally with you 100%. I totally understand where you're coming from, and you made a great point. You made your points very well. I agree with you. And the thing is, you know, if these people you're dealing with just want to use the Gothic skewed version of just from the Bible itself, then they can do their own thing. But, you know, there has to be room for, you know, some deductive reasoning. You know, though, you know, because there are a lot of things that aren't recorded, and we can kind of take really good guesses, if you will, from what was attested as well in other old Germanic languages, right? Because again, you know, all these Germanic languages, they have their common source. You know, they have their common source of Proto-Germanic, right? So that's something to bear in mind, okay? So, yeah, that's something to bear in mind. So, yeah, so if you want to say Þancian, yeah, Þancian, you know, to say think or thanks, you know, that can work in Gothic. Yeah, because the word think and thank, they're very closely related, and I love the example that Nadrara made, where basically if somebody tells you good advice, and someone who takes that good advice and then you know, sees that same advice elsewhere, and because it was given to by the first person, the second person would think, oh well, now that I have this good advice, I can now thank that first person, because now whenever I see this good advice, it makes me think if I'm there and think in the mode of gratitude, and that's very much in accordance of with the Old English definition, where it not only means like thought, it means like feeling of like grace and whatnot. Hang on, let me get it here. It means like kindly thought, favor, grace. You know, so yeah, it's yeah. So Nadrara is correct. Yeah, I'm totally with them on that. And the thing is, with a language like Gothic, and the fact that, you know, people are trying to speak it today and what have you, and the fact that we live in, you know, the era that we live in, well, innovations will happen. Innovations will happen regardless, you know, to express ideas that weren't recorded in the time of when Gothic was being written down. So that's something to bear in mind, right? So innovations, natural innovations will happen. You know, it'll happen with me too. You know, if I want to express something in Gothic, but it's not attested, I will have to create words to express that. You know, that's where the beauty of language comes in. You know, it's an art form, if you will. You know, I mean, with this channel and all that, I'm not trying to imitate the past as much as I can. I'm not a LARPer. Live action role player, that's what that means. LARP, live action role playing, you know? You know, are we here to have fun with the language with Gothic? Just to go back to that, are we here to have fun with the language, or are we here to imitate the past as much as we can, and as restrictively as we can, and strictly as we can to the past? Which is it, right? So, Nadrara, you know, thank you for making that video. I'm pretty sure you've been, I don't know if I would like to say this, but I think you said there what a lot of people are thinking, you know, and you worded it very well. I'm with you and whatnot. I hope you see this video. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you're new. And if you really like the channel and all my work and all that, thanks for watching. Take care.